Let's just be honest. The sentiment around crypto right now compared to the beginning of the month or even back in November is completely night and day. We know that back in November, leading into the beginning of the month, the sentiment was at all-time highs. Everyone was very excited. Everyone was very happy. And now, as the market is just becoming so boring, it's chopping. Some altcoins are getting hit hard. We are now starting to see the sentiment completely change. And I think that that's also very clear by just going and looking at the timeline over on X, looking at the comments on YouTube, and just also looking at the engagement, but also look at the fear and greed index. We have a lot to go over in this video. I'm obviously going to give you guys some updates regarding XRP because we definitely have a lot to talk about. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So let's talk about it. Let's first start with Bitcoin. We could clearly see that trading volume is down significantly on pretty much the entire market. I mean, it's not just Bitcoin. It's not just XRP. If you actually look at the market cap index, we could see just how significant the volume downtrend and even the market downtrend also is. And we've been noticing this for the last roughly, I would say like 3 weeks. I mean, it has been a rough 3 weeks. You can clearly see that even going back to the middle of the month. This is when the market cap for crypto almost hit $4 trillion. But by this point in the market, we were already kind of starting to have a sell-off across the board when it comes to altcoins. And even as we do look at the altcoin season index as well, we're at about roughly 46 out of 100. Now, a lot of people will say, well, we already hit the alt season index up here, right? So that means that alt season happened. No. I feel like there is a false sort of, it's kind of like a false picture being painted for everyone. If you go over on X, there's a lot of people saying like, all right, the top is in. That was our alt season. But it feels like a lot of these people that are pushing this idea that alt season already happened, it feels like they're either new to the cycle or they just don't know how the cycle actually works or how alt season actually looks as well. You know, Bitcoin dominance has yet to actually lose 50%, which we will talk about. But the big thing is, yes, I mean, volume is declining. I think that that's very clear. And yes, there is sell-offs happening right now, but if we really look at the macro view here, I want everyone to zoom out because it does not look bad at all when you zoom out. I see a lot of people posting these like daily charts of XRP where it looks like this and everyone is starting to like panic a bit. This is nothing. I mean, ultimately speaking, on the month, we've just been downtrend. We're just been, consolidating in a downtrend. And this is something that I want you guys to understand. This is healthy price action. This is not some sort of negative price action where we're looking at XRP and saying, all right, well, that's it. It's topped out. It's done. This is healthy price action. When we look at the fear and greed index right now in this space, I think that this speaks volumes. We are back to the same exact levels that we were trading at roughly around the beginning of November, specifically November 4th. If that date doesn't mean much to you guys out there, right? Well, then maybe it will mean something when we go over here to the chart and we go back to November 4th on the total crypto market cap chart when we were trading at roughly 2.18 trillion. I mean, it was like 2.18, around like 2.3. We ended up doing a 71% move to the upside, adding $1.5 trillion to the total crypto market cap. And this is in roughly a month. Not even a month and a half, just like roughly over a month. That's insane to me. But that's why when we zoom out, okay, this price action that everyone is panicking about doesn't look like much. We're now just chopping in a wedge up here where we are expecting some sort of big move. And until we get a big move to the downside or the upside, because again, nobody is going to tell you what's next. In my opinion, I am expecting upside price action, but anything is possible. But until we get any of those reactions, the market is going to be very boring. And the same goes for Bitcoin as well. But what I find interesting right now is that we're trading well over $3.2 trillion. And I don't think that I need to be the one to tell you guys that that is actually still over the all-time highs from 2021. That's very interesting to me. Why? Well, because we are trading at all-time highs going all the way back to 2021 still, even on this downtrend. And the craziest part about this is while we are trading at these highs, while Bitcoin is still well over $90,000, while XRP is still over $2 plus, the fear and greed index is now at neutral. Sentiment has been completely reset. Interest around crypto is at all-time lows, basically, compared to the recent price action. But I also think that interest on just the entire space has completely diminished. And I think that that's also very clear when we go over to Google Trends. If we look at Google Trends, the search term crypto in the last 12 months has quickly dropped down. If you look at this in the last 5 years, right, you could still see that we have yet to actually hit the peak on this. Same with Bitcoin as well. In the last 12 months, this is quickly starting to die down. Last 5 years, again, you can clearly see this. Also, XRP in the last 5 years, you know, we did hit a massive spike here. We did hit a peak level, but we're now back down to like the area that we hit back in 2023 when we saw XRP is not a security. So what is this telling us? Well, it's telling us that interest around this space has quickly died out. So we did not hit euphoria yet because, you know, this does take some time to realize in. I actually think that if we go back to 2021, we might be at this point, right? Where we had that nice spike up, we sold off, we chopped a little bit, and then the next big impulse move is when euphoria did really hit the market. And I'm expecting that again here soon. Again, best guess, Q1, 2025. But we have to be patient here because, you know, price action right now is not telling us that we have a problem. And I think that that's very clear even on the XRP chart. If we look at XRP right now, we are in this extended wedge. And we have been in this wedge for a little bit of time now. So it is to be expected with people getting a little bit impatient. We did hit the top of that upper trend line on December 3rd. We have been trading sideways for about 26 days. Mind you, okay, I want to just show you guys what was happening from July of 2023 all the way up to recent price action, when XRP was actually trading sideways for well over 480 plus days. I bring this up because I want you guys to understand that this is absolutely nothing in terms of consolidation. We are just in a nice wedge here, very similar to the past two wedges, except this is extended. And just like my video from last night, I am expecting much higher price action once this wedge does break. So we're either watching for a big break above the upper trend line, back testing it, turning into support, and then continuation, or we are watching for a loss of this. We should not lose that bottom trend line if XRP is still in bullish territory. We should keep above $2. We should not go sub $2, at least until the top is in. So I am expecting us to break to the upside. We have to watch it closely. We have to be patient, and we also have to be cautious, right? We have to be cautious because we're probably going to retest this bottom trend line, but we should not wick below $2. We should still maintain $2. We should maintain actually this pattern printed out on the chart where we have this nice low followed by a higher low. The next higher low should be right around like roughly $2. We should not lose that pattern. Losing that pattern would it would basically make me flip short-term bearish on XRP because it means that we are going to go much deeper on this chart in terms of a correction. But I'm watching for this wedge to actually be maintained. If we do maintain this, the next target on this board should be $4 plus, which I did say in last night's video. Now, if we think about this, right, we also have to look at Bitcoin. I told you guys, I don't know when this was. I believe it was when we were initially trading off down or trading to the downside off of the inverse fair value gap. I did say if we do hit this level, this is not bullish. This is actually bearish. This is an inverse fair value gap. These are typically bearish targets. As you guys can see, we wicked into it. We did not break above 100K, and we sold off immediately. Now we're back down into the area where we have major demand, and this could allow us to trade a little bit lower. That could also take XRP back down to $2, retesting that trend line. This would be the catalyst for a lot of the sell-off pressure around the space. Now, is there anything that I'm really looking at, watching for on this chart? Realistically speaking, we don't want to lose the past support zone, which is right around roughly this $92,000 level. We don't want to lose that level. We actually want to wick down to it, if anything, but we do not want to close below that on the daily. That's what I'm watching for on Bitcoin. Outside of Bitcoin, though, I have been watching Bitcoin dominance, and the good news for those that are holding altcoins, we're still printing macro bearish structure. We have this high up here, followed by this lower high. Now, the big question is, are we going to create a lower low on the macro view? That would be below 54%. That is also a drop on Bitcoin dominance of well over roughly almost 6%. That will be enough to push altcoins significantly higher. And the best part about this is that if Bitcoin is just going to chop a bit here, right? If Bitcoin's just going to chop while Bitcoin dominance breaks down on this chart, either to my demand zone before it chops a little bit and then continues, it doesn't really matter. All we're expecting is Bitcoin dominance to sell off. And if that's going to happen while Bitcoin either chops sideways or has a big breakout to the upside, then that means that altcoins are about to be a very, very big show stealer here soon, because it means that they are going to pump hard. Now, also during this time, I am watching Bitcoin pairs. XRP has absolutely zero change on this chart. Even though the USD pair has been chopping quite a bit, right? I mean, this thing has lost a significant amount of traction. I mean, we're down roughly 26%. Total percentage loss was about roughly 35% or so. If we're looking at Bitcoin dominance, or the XRP Bitcoin chart, sorry, this thing has just been chopping sideways, while we also have been keeping a focus on Bitcoin dominance, because the weaker that Bitcoin dominance gets, the more strength that we start to see in these Bitcoin pairs. And that's why I am watching XRPs, because this thing is just chopping sideways, consolidating. And that's why I'm still very bullish on XRP. There's nothing telling me that we should be bearish on XRP right now on the charts, which is telling us something that we need to focus on, which is the fact that the overall focus on crypto has died out quite a bit. There's practically zero interest in crypto while we're just chopping sideways and to the downside. But this is happening at the same exact time that the total crypto market cap is still trading at all-time highs going back to 2021. And it's also happening at the same exact time that the overall environment around crypto is more bullish than ever heading into 2025. We're also at the same exact fear and greed levels that we were at in the beginning of November, before this massive $1.5 trillion plus move on the total crypto market cap. So what does that tell you? Well, it tells you that we need to prepare for this next big wave, because I do believe that this is going to be the euphoric stage for crypto. I think that we are going to see some of the biggest moves on the charts heading into 2025. And I think that if you hold XRP, you should also be prepared, because this wedge is the big focus right now. And if this thing does break to the upside, then we will see $4 plus in a very short amount of time as well. And for those wondering, well, why do you think it's going to happen in a very short amount of time? I mean, let's just think about it like this, right? This was November. This was the beginning of November. In just roughly 28 days, okay? XRP added over $2.40 to its name, an upside of 476%. So I don't think, and if we're going off just the $2 level, I don't think that, heading to $4 plus, adding almost $2 to its name, a 97, almost 98% move, is that crazy in less than, we'll just say 2 weeks. We'll say 2 weeks. I don't think that that's too crazy, especially with how long we've been consolidating in this wedge versus, some of these previous moves here on this chart. So I do think that if you hold XRP, you should get ready now because things are going to get crazy very fast. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.